10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody, it's that time of the week again. It's try time and my name is, you guessed it, it's Malcolm. So, the quarterfinals done, it's the final four, and guess what? I'm even much more happier, not because the Springboks are in it to win it, but because it's an all four of Southern Hemisphere rugby. Well, earlier this year, quite interesting, the Australians won the Rugby Championship. And now, the top four in world rugby basically is Southern Hemisphere teams. And now, having watched the World Cup until this point, my mind, I can say I know why this is the results that we have. Because you've got the teams that have been performing, that have been scoring points, scoring tries, unbelievable play from these four teams. Well, of course, some talking point will be that penalty that Craig Dubé gave during the Scotland game. And well, Scotland will feel, well, we lost out on a semi-final spot. Australia will feel that, well, we had the bounce of the ball, and you know that the rugby ball can bounce awkwardly, and this time it bounced in Australia's favour with that call. I still think the call was correct based on the time that Craig Dubé had. Some people say, well, we need to use TMO, we need to utilize technology. I said, well, wait a minute, we've got to be careful as to how much of technology we use. I mean, players don't say, can I repeat that move again because that pass didn't quite go to my teammate's hand. If players can't do that, so referees, as far as possible, should make the calls on the field. And we have to applaud and laud Craig Dubé for doing that, and in the spirit of keeping the game going. Yes, of course, we're going to speak about the results that happened, and we're going to speak about what is probably to come. Okay, now, of course, this World Cup has been crazy. We couldn't predict that Japan would beat the Springboks, but that happened. We couldn't predict that England would go out of the World Cup in the first round, but that also happened. So making predictions seems kind of pointless. And last week we got one prediction wrong, and I got it wrong. Like I said it before, I can't have these things wrong. So Argentina beat Ireland, believe it or not, they did. And I think, having watched that game, I think the key for Argentina was similar to how they managed to beat the Springboks at Loftus earlier in the year during the Rugby Championship. So what basically happened is that Argentina played with passion, and of course they lost momentum in the second half of the first half. So and then again when they came back, Ireland seemed like they were coming back into the game until the final quarter of the game. So it was a game of 4 quarters, if you want to put it like that. It was literally a game of 4 quarters. The first quarter in the first half, and the second quarter the first quarter in the first half belonged to Argentina. The second quarter in the first half belonged to Ireland, and then third quarter belonging to Ireland, and then the final one that put the nail in the coffin for Ireland, and probably the hopes of more Northern Hemisphere rugby featuring in the semi-finals. So, of course, we cannot talk results of the quarterfinal without going back to that magic moment. Watch this magic moment. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable play by Dwayne Vermeulen in the first place, by Faridou Beer, and of course there was a lot of talk about how genius this moment was. Personally, I don't think that was just a single moment in that game specifically. It may actually be a key moment in the World Cup campaign. I'm not saying we're going to win the World Cup, but it sort of like made us believe again that the players that we have at the World Cup are the right players to be there. Yes, I still feel certain other players should have been included, but there's the players that we have, and we've got to win the World Cup with the players that we have. And they proved that there's still quality to play in that sort of environment. And of course, the big game, well, it was the most interesting one. And as I said, it's not 1999, it's 2015. France looked like amateurs against New Zealand. New Zealand were running rampant. 62 points on the board. 62 points on the board. And that's how much they dominated that game. And going into the semi-final, of course, South Africa is facing them, and they've got to be thinking, we've got to be on their game. But let me tell you something. I've got a feeling that the game between the Springboks and New Zealand might not be as wide as the game against France. New Zealand will need to be at their very best, if not better than what they have been against France. And of course, South Africa, if they want to win, they've got to step up the game. So, we've talked about that. We've covered the first semi-final as well. We'll make the prediction later. Now, of course, the big game that we spoke about, and well, one has to feel sorry for Scotland. They played really well for most of the game until that very last moment where they lost it, well, with a controversial penalty that was given against them. So that's how it rolls in this game. But well, Australia have to count themselves very fortunate, because suddenly it looked like at least one Northern Hemisphere team was going to make it to the semi-final till the very last moment. Alright, let's make predictions. This Saturday, it's Springboks against New Zealand. Who do I think is going to win? Well, on paper, it looks like New Zealand. Don't write off the Springboks though. That game is always interesting. If the Springboks are going to win, it's going to be a close one. I would predict, I'm going to make a bold prediction here and a very patriotic prediction. I'm going to say Springboks by 2. Good luck to me. I've got it wrong before. Probably I should have said New Zealand by 4. But anyway, I stick to my prediction, Springboks by 2. And then in the second semi-final, well, I feel very uncomfortable predicting anything with Argentina because what we've seen over the weekend. But at the same time, I still think Australia would have woken up from how badly they played against Scotland and would have taken note of how dangerous Argentina can be. And I'm going to predict it's going to be a close one, but I'm going to predict an Australian win. So according to my prediction, we should see an SA Australia final. Alright, so let's take a look at the team that's going to play against New Zealand this week. That's it for this week. We've had fun. It's always been fun during trial time. So watch the game on Saturday, watch the game on Sunday, and the next weekend, of course, it's a big one. It's a final. Whoever makes it there, let's see what happens. Until then, it's touch, pause. Let's go.